94.1 The Beat, your boy Cali Cole, DJ Mike Fresh, and man, I'm excited. We got a good one for you today. Mr. Ron Pickard, which I don't want to just call you Ron Pickard without people knowing like you basically 007, bro. Like you a man who has lived many lives. How you doing today?
Oh yes, very good, very good. How are you doing today? All right.
I'm doing good. I'm excited about getting the word out to the people about your new book, Lawfia.
Right.
But I do want them to know, some of your background. So like,
absolutely.
You do have a relationship with Georgia, even though you're from the U.S. Virgin Islands?
Right. So I was born and raised in the U.S. Virgin Islands. My mother, she's an American. She was from a place called Cordele, Georgia. That's down in the south, Yeah. And my mother just decided when she finished college that she was going to spin the globe, wherever that globe land. That's where she was going, and they landed in the U.S. Virgin Islands.
Wow.
So she packed up and left Cordele, Georgia against her mother's will, or rather knowledge. Came to the Virgin Islands and met my papi, my father, Ronald Pickard Sr. And the rest is history, and they gave me life. So I got part of two worlds.
Well, what's your relationship like with Georgia? Because like with your mom making a big deal, like that's like a big jump. Because like
big.
we're over here on the coast,
Yeah.
But like Cordele, that's west. That's almost Alabama. So that's like a big jump to say, hey, I'm gonna go and go to the Virgin Islands. Like, do you have a relationship with that part of Georgia or not really?
Yeah, man. So my relationship with Savannah, Georgia goes way back, since 1977,
Wow.
Because you remember when my mother left America and came to the Virgin Islands, after a while, she had to come back and visit her peers, her family up here.
Right.
For example, Savannah, Georgia, her sister, a young lady, but my aunt, her name is Joan Hayes. She lives here in Savannah, Georgia, So my mother, when she came back to the United States, she did not want to go back to Cordele regardless.
Wow.
Right?
Wow, yeah.
So she brought us to Savannah, Georgia, and entered us into school. I went to a school, it was elementary. I went to a school called Ramona Riley.
Yeah.
Right? And then my big brother, he went to a school called Alaho.
Man.
So
you at home right now, just about.
Pretty much, man. Pretty much. So I got roots in here.
Yeah.
I didn't just come to Savannah out of the blue, man. I've been here since I've been a picnic.
Do you have any now you just threw me off because you said picnic. That's a big name down here, but I know that y'all use that in the Caribbean for real.
Yeah,
I got some family named Picnic. I've been doing my reading.
Yeah,
so
good.
So I'm a little versed, I know a little bit.
Right.
I do want to say, like, what's the biggest similarities between the islands and Georgia or Savannah, and what are some of the what is one of the biggest differences?
Well, we're talking about two different worlds, right? You have America versus the Virgin Islands.
Right.
The Virgin Islands, the Caribbean, the sun, the blue waters, white sand. The Caribbean, the culture, the food, everything is completely different versus the fast lane here in the United States. But there is one thing stands out. There's a stereotype. The islands is this. Yes, the islands itself is beautiful. The land is beautiful. The water, everything is beautiful as it pertains to that. But don't get it twisted.
Yeah.
This is not an American paradise. It's a smuggler's paradise.
Oh wow.
You understand?
Oh, wow.
So there's a lot of violence down there. There's a lot of love, but there's a lot of violence because of survival.
Right.
Survival of the fittest. Here in America, you have drug dealers, right? You refer to them as drug dealers. Right. In the islands, we have drug lords.
Hey, that's a total difference.
Totally different, man.
A dealer and a lord, totally different.
Totally different. So the presence of violence is going to be even more.
Right. Keep that order, yeah.
Exactly. So as a law enforcement officer, you have to approach that level of violence with the same level of violence, in order to get the job done.
Man. So you got to be a savage to deal with.
You got to be. You got to be a beast.
A beast, yeah.
Straight up. Straight up. Because we're talking about the same route that Pablo Escobar,
right,
and all of those did, been traveling drugs for years. It's so bad that even though we're U.S. territory, the Virgin Islands, right, we're still considered international waters because of the cartel flow.
Oh man,
that's what you see has always been the war in drugs, as pertains in the Caribbean. So it's been hard as a law enforcement officer. If you're fighting against a cartel. And what makes it worse is you're fighting against your own peers, other fellow law enforcement officers, But it's one thing. I never blame, I never screw face, no drug man that sell his stuff. Cause you get them, that's your way of life.
Right.
You know?
Right.
If you can't get a job, you can't seek employment. Reality still stands. He or she, you must eat. If you have a family, you must feed your family.
Right.
But there are different ways of feeding your family. Some is legal, others is illegal. You choose.
Well, we just had a big thing happen in a few hours, like 30 minutes south of here, on St. Simon's Island. They had like a big drug bust with like 55 people in the community. But like one of the biggest things when you think about this area is most people making $8, $7, $8, $9 an hour. Like, how do they take care of themselves outside of that? And the system kind of don't care about that.
They don't. And people need to face reality, face reality. We know that the cost of living, the economy is growing constantly. Prime case an example. Apartment complexes here itself, right here in Savannah. I mean, the price fluctuates and it's increasing more and more. There's no cap. No one's put a cap on the apartment, on the rental for apartments. Right. We have over 400 and something thousand evictions a year.
It's crazy.
So what are we going to do for affordable housing?
Right.
These are stuff that's realistic. These are reality stuff that's taking place. So guess what happened? You have to feed your family.
Right.
And in some cases, your children don't want you to come home saying, well, Papi, I wasn't able, I couldn't get enough food for you because, I was going to. No, at some point as a parent, you get frustrated and you say, listen, I going to have to do what I got to do, like fresh, just to make sure I can feed my family.
True.
And that's why I said it's only two ways. It's only two ways. Don't let nobody fool you. Only two ways in life you can feed your family. The legal way or the illegal way. But you don't got to choose one.
You know what? And just thinking about what you were saying about the Virgin Islands, what's such a trip is about people don't even think about like the Caribbean and as far as people smuggling. So of course drugs is perfect for it because most of the people who are here, like our ancestors, they weren't like, I got ancestors who was in the Caribbean for 10 years working on a plantation before they came over here. So they've smuggled everything in the Caribbean, right?
Human sex trafficking.
Oh, wow.
That's a major thing in the Caribbean right now.
Wow.
That's a multi-billion-dollar industry right now.
Whoa.
Human sex trafficking. It's not stopping now. It's not going to stop next year. It's not going to stop in this administration. It's not going to stop in the following administration.
Right.
Because of the mere fact that it's in demand. Supply and demand, which is unfortunate. Just like in my book, Lawfia. Can I hold up? Can I?
Yeah. Go ahead. Because that's what this is about. We definitely going to dive into Lawfia.
Just like in Lawfia. In Lawfia, there's a section where I talk about human sex trafficking. There's a young lady that came to the Virgin Islands. She, her sister, her mom, her dad, on a cruise ship. Her young sister came off the trail. She went looking for marijuana. I'm like, that's how you catch them.
Right.
But I tell you, stay on the trail.
Right.
Stay on the trail.
Right.
But no, they come off of the trail. They get that good scent, that marijuana, that Mary Jane, that Sensimilia. And unfortunately, her sister was kidnapped.
Whoa.
The parents been there for 2 years trying to find her daughter. No lead, no nothing. Her sister came back to the matter of fact, it was from St. Croix. Her sister came back to the Virgin Islands and she worked as a waitress in a local bar downtown just as she could collect information.
Wow.
And she told me that she was raped 5 times on false leads. 5 times she was raped.
Just from her going to go try to find her sister?
Just from her trying to go find her sister.
Whoa.
Right?
Whoa.
And somebody told her, listen, you're going to the wrong person for help. You want to find your sister? There's only one man that can help you, man. Primo. To refer to me as AKA Primo.
That's a dope nickname right there. Primo right there.
But it was true. You want to find your sister? You're wasting time going to the local department. You're wasting time going to your legislator. You got to come to me.
Man.
And I was working undercover. I was an undercover agent. I progressed in my employment. And I was sitting down in one of the restaurants with the other crew that I work with, right? And she approached me and she says, I need some help. I said, listen, man, go ahead and call 911. Let them help you out. Because at that point, I was all tied up,
Yeah.
And she was like, no. They told me to come to you. She said, this is a situation. Been there for 7 years. And this was taking place. I need your help. I said, tell you what, man. Since she keep, because she was harassing me. Like 3 days and then 3 nights in a row, man. Every time she see me, she harassed me. She meant she was not going to let me walk up and down and do my job unless I stop and help her. So I said, listen, I gonna find your sister in 48 hours, dead or alive. But I gonna find she.
Whoa.
And I found her in must have been like 35 hours.
Whoa.
What happened is that, and it's a good message to get out there.
Mm-hmm.
Please beware when you go to foreign countries, you go for vacation.
Mm-hmm.
For you, it's a vacation. But for
Right.
them, it's survival of the fittest.
It's life. It's life.
That's life.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You know, and it's a typical thing for human sex trafficking. They kidnap these young ladies, they drug them, they forcibly rape them over and over again. The next thing you know, you wake up, you're across seas or in the Middle East or someplace, or down in the Philippines.
That's
you
crazy.
know,
That's crazy.
that's why it's imperative, parents, you got to keep your eyes on your children.
Yeah. Right.
Don't mind the fact that they're 18 years old or 21 years old. You're going to be your children until the day you pass away. And it's a cruel world out here right now. It's cruel.
Well, you know, and thinking about how much you've seen, you know, working in law enforcement, traveling internationally, I do want to ask you, because you were talking a little bit about the beauty of the Caribbean.
Right.
What got you into being a swimmer? Because, like, you know, before we get into the law enforcement stuff,
Right.
I want to know what it feels like to be somebody who participated in Olympics.
Right.
Like, that's major. Just crazy and mind-boggling. But like the 1988 Seoul Olympics, that right there, one of the storied Olympics, like they got so much video on it, so much stuff on YouTube.
Oh yeah,
it was a major time. How did it feel to be a part of that?
So, first of all, let me go back and tell you how I started with swimming. Mm-hmm. At the age of 9 years old, I was fishing in the local in Gallows Bay, mm-hmm. in the Virgin Islands, and I caught a fish. And when I tried to pull it in, I slipped and fell under a tunnel.
Ooh.
I was fishing with me and my brother, Donald. And then when the tunnel, it carried me under. And then my parents rescued me on the other side and brought me back up. So my mother said, that's it. Mm-mm. She said, from today, you're going to join our swim team. You're going to learn how to swim.
Wow.
So I learned how to swim. I joined the swim team at St. Croix Dolphins, you know. But I didn't even know it was a sport. I just said my mother wanted me to learn how to swim. Uh-huh. Turned into a sport. Turned out I had a knack. I was a natural at it.
Wow.
Winning gold medals left and right. And during high school, I participated for the Olympics. Now, here's the thing. You get 2 shots. Mm-hmm. 2. I lost the first one. I had one more shot to make the Olympics. Mm-hmm. It was a place called Boca Raton, Florida.
Okay, yeah.
So I'm also a boxer. So I would sneak and I would box when my mother didn't know about it, right? So this is the high time that I'm training, getting ready to take for my second qualification. And I broke my wrist.
Oh.
So, of course, needless to say, my parents, of course, was upset. But they put me in a fiberglass cast.
Yeah.
And my papi said, you going to Olympics, you gonna qualify. I said, papi, even a cast, you gonna qualify. Next thing you know, my parents took me to Boca Raton, Florida. Well, I qualified for the Olympics. Matter of fact, I broke the world's record when I qualified in Boca Raton, Florida.
Whoa.
Absolutely.
Wait, and you had...
I was in a cast.
Golly, that's crazy.
I was in a cast.
That's that 007 stuff I'm talking about right there. In a cast, like...
That's God bless it right there, man.
Now, you know, even at that time, were there a lot of people, like a lot of black people participating in the swimming events? Or did you see that? Because I'm thinking 1988, I'm thinking like it might not have been as many, because we don't see a lot of black swimmers right now.
No, you don't. See, swimming has always been a dominant sport as it pertains to the Caucasians. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. You see more white individuals, you see blacks, you know? Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. And even more so those for the islands. So, like for me, I was the only person of color.
Wow.
That was in Boca Raton, Florida, trying to qualify to go to Olympics.
Yeah.
It's like, so it's so much different handicaps you have, you know. And when I qualified that last time, not only my hand was on a cast, they had a minor thunderstorm. So I'm swimming there, broken hand in a cast, and I got to fight against the current.
Ooh, yeah, that's awful. That's awful. Man, that's awful.
Listen, man, it was only me and God that had it on. But I did it. Mm-hmm. I qualified. The next thing I was going to the Olympics. Now, the Olympics, oh my gosh, that is a completely different world of class.
Everybody from every country, just about in the world there.
Now, remember, before the Olympics, I went to the World's Games in Madrid, Spain. I was the fastest starter in the world.
Oh, wow.
I'm on the front page of Swimmer World magazine. I think I had it in a book here. I had the fastest start in the world. So when I went to the Olympics now, that magazine, in the Olympics era, world, people know who you are. So I went into Olympics and I was signing the autograph for the magazine for 1987, right? But what I love the most is that you see all these celebrities growing up, man. I saw Carl Lewis.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
I saw. We were actually mingling. We're all we're all athletes. We're all Olympians,
Right.
I remember I tried to hit on what's her name, Flojo.
You tried to scoop Flojo?
Yeah. I was like, wow, this girl is really gorgeous, man. So I tried to hit her and she grabbed my cheeks. Oh, you're so cute, you're so young. It's like,
And she had the nails and everything going
long nails. And then she wore like half leg. Other one is long.
Oh, yeah.
As far as I went with her jumpsuit.
Yeah.
But it was hilarious. I saw her there, Ray Mercer.
Yes, sir.
It was a very good experience.
That's what's up, man.
Yeah.
The biggest thing for me is just seeing how you navigate through things.
Yeah.
And my biggest thing is, how do you go from being in the Olympics as a swimmer to being big time law enforcement and mixed up pretty much in the world's drama, in the world's crime drama,
it's crazy.
in the Virgin Islands.
It's crazy. So after Olympics, I came back home, wanted to join law enforcement. I had a situation when I was small. Me and my brother and my mother were going to school. Mm-hmm. My mother was carpooling, right? And it was another lady from the United States. See, in the island, if you're from the United States, you have an accent. If you have an accent, it's a handicap for you because you're not treated right.
Yeah. People are like, oh, you're an outsider.
You're an outsider. Don't let nobody fool you. They'll come and tell you what Pickard said. They're lying.
Yeah,
they're lying. If you're from the United States, it doesn't matter if you're black or white. If you have an accent, you come to the islands, you'll never be accepted as a local.
Right.
That's the bottom line. And that was the situation with my mother. My mother, she was considered an outsider, even though her own son, her child, was born and raised as an islander.
Right.
So when we were driving to school, when she was driving us to school, they were carpooling with another young lady that was from the United States as well.
Okay. And
there was this crazy mental guy that stood there at a stoplight. And he was watching us. But I saw him. I was in the back seat. Gosh, I must have been like, probably 9 or 10 years old. Mm-hmm. And my brother was sitting next to me. And I saw the guy walking back and forth. He watching, he was listening. But all he wanted to hear was their accent.
So he could know what to do. Yeah.
So all I heard the guy say, "You got dead, Yankee." Right there I knew.
Yeah.
That was because of my mother's accent. So he picked up a stone and he threw a stone at the window, the driver's seat, the driver's side, where my mother was sitting in the passenger side. Mm-hmm. So the young lady, she panicked. Her mother grabbed the steering wheel, put her foot over, pressed that gas, and got us out of harm's way.
Oh, man.
But my brother threw his body over me, shielding me to make sure I don't get hurt.
Do you think that attitude comes from? Is it because of what people have in the United States, or is it just y'all not one of us? Like, what do you think makes it, like that for people in the Caribbean?
It's like, as far as Caribbean people looking at those people of color from the United States, we feel that a lot of their minds have been brainwashed because of the westernized ideas,
Right.
But it's not that we're better. We feel that we're better than you. We all of us as black people, man. You know what I mean?
Right. It's just different. It's just different thinking.
It's just different thinking, pattern of thinking.
Right.
For us in the Virgin Islands, what affects us the most is that as a local Virgin Islander, a local West Indian, period, you have a lot of people from the United States, for the corporate companies, they come down and they buy all these big mansions and big houses in the waterfront by the beach line. But then they tell them that the local people are not allowed to go to the beach, which is
crazy.
It's crazy.
That's crazy.
That's against the law.
Yeah, right.
The beach is public beach. So, a lot of the locals, they get upset. We had a major event. It was a massacre. It's called Fountain Valley Massacre. When you get a chance, look it up.
Okay, definitely.
Where the local Virgin Islanders, I think it was 5 of them, Fountain Valley 5, if I'm not mistaken, is that they took things in their own hands. Did they do it the right way? Was it right for them to do that? No. Were they frustrated because of the so-called infidels coming to the territory to take over lands?
Right.
It was happening, but it didn't give them a reason to do the massacre that they did, you know? But that's just, and that was way back in the 60s.
Right.
So imagine now how things have changed.
But still, but even, you know, just thinking about like how close we are in proximity and certain things, I've always wondered, like, there are a lot of talks worldwide about this and that, but what do you think contributes to the poverty in the Caribbean? Because it's one of the most beautiful places in the world. And I think even me asking you that lines up with Lawfia, lines up with it. But like, what is like a number one contributor to that? Because it is disheartening for people. You know, they got it here. People use this town for tourism, and they coming in a neighborhood where people been here for hundreds of years.
Right.
And the people can't get any of the money, but when they come, the value goes up.
Of course.
So what kind of issues do you see in the Caribbean as like a number one factor contributing to poverty?
Well, I'm so glad you asked that question, man, because it comes in with Lawfia. When I joined the police department, I joined, you know, to try to do good, to serve my people, you know, and then I realized the corruption that was taking place within the department itself. But I'm going to tell you the reason why we suffering in the islands. It's because of public corruption.
Ooh.
We have a 99% importation of food products being imported to the Virgin Islands.
That's everything.
99%, which will only leave a window of 1%, correct? We're ranked number 3 in the world as it pertains to homicide. We rank number 1 in the nation as it pertains to human sex trafficking. These per capita.
Whoa.
Per capita. Now, we have politicians who have been involved in so much corruptions. We get millions and millions, if not billions of dollars in federal funded money for grants, right? But guess what happened? Majority of the politicians, they end up thieving the money for their own goods. Prime case an example. The last 2 governors, the present governor, our present delegate to Congress, they have all been bought and paid out by Jeffrey Epstein.
I could believe it, man. I could, because
this is facts.
So, and a lot of the dirt he was doing was done in the Virgin Islands.
He bought an entire island in the Virgin Islands.
Whoa.
He gave the present governor $380,000 towards his campaign, right? He gave the former governor $50,000. He gave the other governor several of hundreds of thousands of dollars. He gave so many Democratic senators thousands of dollars. I mean, here you have a guy that is one of the world's most notorious human sex trafficker.
Right.
He comes to the Virgin Islands and he literally buys the whole government out. So now the local people in the Virgin Islands to this day we're still suffering because a lot of houses have blue tops on it. Since the hurricane, since 1989.
Oh, man.
So it's not that we're not getting federally funded money from the United States. We are. But it's our local politicians that are, how can I say it, misusing the money. And then we, the local people, you never get to see it. We don't benefit from it because we don't see it. You know?
And that's just like showing so much corruption, you know, at the top. How can anybody else survive?
It's hard to survive. Look what we have. We have the delegate of Congress, Stacey Plaskett. She basically been bought up by Jeffrey Epstein. Most recently, she just came out of the Epstein files. Wow. Her name is mentioned several thousands at a time, but she ain't gone in jail yet.
Right.
So you got to understand the frustration of the people of the Virgin. Why haven't she been arrested yet? Why haven't she stepped down from Congress, if not for unethical conduct as a congresswoman, being coached and told what to do by Jeffrey Epstein? You know, so it's a lot of frustration. So imagine me as a law enforcement officer trying to fight corruption at that level. Versus these other guys have been in corruption before I was born. You know, I think one of the biggest things I regret is not turning my head left and right when I saw corruption.
Okay.
I should, had I known then, I would have turned my head left to right because it served no purpose.
Right.
You know, me trying to be straight. I'm not saying there's something wrong with doing the right thing. Everybody should do the right thing. But when it comes to the point where your life becomes a jeopardy, then at that point it makes no sense. because your life is more important to you than you trying to fight corruption all the days of your lives.
Right.
You know?
And you have to, you can't go into something blindly. Like when you have to raise up that beast to be able to compete. If you got corruption on the top and you got corruption at the bottom, you gonna get washed out or you'll get ate up. You know what I'm saying? If you don't bring it. So it's kind of like, do you feel like you adapted, like you had to adapt and kind of be somebody who was looking out for the self's best interest to survive?
I gotta be honest with you. I wasn't trying to adapt. I was declaring war.
Oh man.
And my biggest problem was that I wasn't scared. I wasn't afraid of them. I wasn't afraid of all these different assassination attempts on my life.
Yeah.
You know, I wasn't afraid. And I was like, had I been afraid, then maybe I would have stopped and resigned and just get out of there. But for me, that was a challenge, man.
Well, let me say this. Okay, so what's scarier? Because like knowing that somebody is out to kill you, or somebody's out to assassinate you, or not knowing and you got a price on your head, or somebody's after you.
Well, what was scary is knowing. That somebody's out to catch you. You know, I knew for a fact that I had several contract hits on my head. You know, and that's why in the book it shows I had to run, and I had to leave actually, and relocate to Savannah, Georgia. We had the commissioner, the captains, all the high brass call a meeting at my parents' house. And I said, at this point right now, there are so many contracts on your son's head that we don't have enough manpower to protect him.
Whoa, that's crazy.
So they said, our suggestion for him is to leave the islands immediately. And I left and I came to Savannah, Georgia here. Because like I said, I have roots here. My Aunt Joan Hayes, Leah and Hess and those guys, you know. So I had a lot of family and cousin here. So for me, it was to go to some place that I was more familiar with, right? I'm familiar with Savannah.
Yeah.
Like I said, I went to Ramola Riley School.
Yes, sir.
Alla Hope School with my brother. So I knew Savannah. I came here and I stayed here for about almost a year until I was able to disappear. But after a year, word came out that I was here. And they was coming for me here in Savannah. So I remember it must have been like about 1:30, 1:45 in the morning. Me and my mother, my papi, we got dressed, jumped in a car, we drove to Jacksonville because they were on their way to Savannah to get me. Whew. So I went straight to Savannah.
Definitely, it's real. It's definitely take your time. It's real. Take your time.